What's all this about?
Jesus Christ. What are you doing?
It's been a year, Rob. Where's my Transformers review?
I don't think I should.
No.
What the man?
It's Transformers time, Rob. No more of these Godzilla reviews already done 4 times.
But the YouTubes and the viewer base and all of this. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about the Hasbro Transformers Armada Giga-Cons line Megatron with Leader 1. So as far as paint and detail goes, I believe there's a pretty decent mixture of paint and things that are just molded in that specific color. So I guess as far as that goes, I'm going to talk about it rather mixedly. A combination. So the areas that are painted on the figure do look good, some of them a little bit more obvious than others. Like right here, these orange little shoulder parts over here, yeah, definitely painted. The orange on this stag beetle looking headdress that Megatron has, definitely painted. That's definitely painted. And these are probably painted too. And what is painted on little Leader 1 over here, if there is anything at all, save for the visor, I think it all looks pretty good. Visor and the windows. I do believe the Decepticon logos and the purple squares around them are painted, or at least the Decepticon logos maybe. The black on Megatron's chest is obviously painted. Those are obviously painted. Got some painted bits on the top of the tank head over here. The tip of Megatron's blaster thingy over here will be painted, with some nice detail as well. And for the most part, I think that pretty much wraps it up in terms of paint on Megagonius. I mean, you know, you have the little lights over here, you have a couple other things on the back, I think, mostly just over here, the mechanical details and such. I can't really complain. Everything does look pretty good. So yeah, paint's gonna get a solid star. Now I can focus on detail because dear fucking Christ, the detail on this thing is amazing. You know, not knocking the early 2000s and their detail game or anything, but finally looking at this after so long under photography, lighting and everything, all these months that I've been planning this, it really is impressive. Granted, you know, these things had to look like gigantic robots, and every little nook and cranny feels properly filled to a point where I think they're a little bit more detailed than the animation cell they're based on. Animation cell might have been the wrong term there, I do so apologize, but in comparison to how Megatron looks in the show, I think this is pretty cool. Areas like the torso over here, the undersides of the forearms, as you can see, just brimming with it all. And then you get a look at the thighs, you get a look at the opposite sides of the legs and everything, and there's just so much, so very much. And again, it's very impressive. Impressive and equally as interesting to see areas like the bottom of the tank head over here, or whatever the proper term is, actually featuring quite a lot of detail. Even the undersides of the fingers got detailed up. Yeah, head to toe, this figure is impressive, and everywhere you look, you're gonna see something different, and as any regular viewer of mine knows, that is something that I very much do appreciate. It almost feels like you're getting multiple figures in one with how much this guy has, and that kind of works out for me because this is a Transformer. I am getting multiple figures in one. It's the whole point. This is a toy for kids, and it looks this good. Even the projectiles look good. God damn. I can't give Megatron anything less than another solid star in terms of detail. Furthermore, even little Leader 1 over here has got a good, healthy amount of details. Yeah, even the mini-cons were properly taken care of. I don't know if I'm noticing this for the first time, but I did just realize that he's got 2 different kinds of hands on these arms. Interesting. Yes. Alright, so the first gimmick mentioned in the instructions is opening this little thing up, taking Leader 1 and kinda just stretching him out like this, and then kinda just placing him in here somehow. Oh, okay, I guess it's like that. He kinda just sits there looking like a side gun. I love David K's Megatron. And no, that wasn't influenced by any outside entities or anything. David K was my very first Megatron, both in Beast Wars and in Transformers Armada. So I have a special place for that rich and velvety smooth voice, no matter what. The next gimmick involving the shoulder blades over here is taking Leader 1 in his vehicle mode and just placing him right there. Yet again, acting as
side guns. buttons.
There we go. Yes, I have the button. Take Leader 1 in his vehicle mode. Place him on Megatron's forearm over here. Somewhat unrelated, but now he can be somewhat of a forearm-mounted laser. But what he's really here for is this. He reveals Megatron's spring-loaded palm boner. Alright, so it's some kind of Cybertronian, I guess, like switchblade, knife, whatever the hell. It's got some decent details on it, and it is still spring-loaded. But the cool thing about having Leader 1 over here is that it really can't move outside of the hands unless you force it, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. Alright, these next two gimmicks I'm going to cover are very situational, and I don't think really all that interesting, but you can store Megatron's projectiles up here for a neat little look, but according to the instructions, you could fit a third one in here somehow, and I've never been able to get it to stay. I don't know, is there something over here? I don't fucking know. You can also take Little Leader 1 in his robot mode, unfold the guns on the backs of his legs, use this arm, I do believe, and you can fit it into Megatron's hands somewhat, and, yeah, the gun mode for Leader 1 is, it's kind of on the floppy side. It doesn't really look all that convincing. I guess this is more so a gimmick for the vehicle mode, but Megatron's little beetle pincers over here are articulated. They're spring-loaded, so they just snap back into place. And I believe that's something that he did in his tank mode in one of the episodes. He kind of just went towards one of the humans as they were running away, I think. But if you were based as a kid, like myself, and you watched the show, you'll know that there is one more gimmick that we need to talk about. We're gonna take little vehicular Leader 1. We are going to place him on this port right here, or is it that port up? I don't know. We're gonna place him just right there for show accuracy, I think. We're going to lift up Megatron's arms. We're gonna grab him right here and then pull. And then we're going to slowly move his tank head to his torso. Lock it into place and lose a projectile. We're going to move Leader 1 forward and then down. We're going to spin this lever and nothing's going to happen. And it's supposed to spin this thing all the way around, and it kinda isn't. I'm not sure why, but if you turn it by hand, you at least get a peek at the sound feature. So let's go ahead and do that. That ain't David K. And, yeah, a little Decepticon logo lights up. It's not much, but it's definitely something. And despite the figure's rather limited source of articulation, you can still get some cool poses out of this. I mean, I guess with what everything this figure came with, excusing a little bit of no articulation is alright. The arms can swivel. I imagine, yeah, probably all the way around if they didn't, you know, hit anything. Maybe this arm. No, yeah, it's going to hit the back of this thingy over here. But it's okay, because you can at least get the arms in somewhat of an upward motion. I mean, you could just move this, get at least one of the arms fully up and such. And apparently this is something that the new version of Megatron from Transformers Armada doesn't have, so yay! Both of the arms can move up about this far while in robot mode, and of course back down. We will be getting a swivel at both forearms over here, as you see. We will also get a decent bend in at the forearms, elbow, and no bend out. Alright. This fist can swivel all the way around. Since this fist is spring-loaded and not on a swivel, as you can see, it can just open and then close. Open and then close. We will get movement at Megatron's head. Looks like he can go all the way around. Fuck. The other pincer kind of gets in the way, and I'm a little worried. I don't want to break these. I'm aware that they can come off rather easily, but I don't want to initiate that. We will get some turny movements over here at the waist. That's more so safe for the transformation, but hey, it works. And now for the legs. The legs can only go out and bend like so. And to quote TF Wiki, this was what was considered a dynamic pose back in Armada's heyday. Funny, but unfortunate. Funortunate. Phew. And I guess this pose kind of matches with the big bad Beetleborg pincers up there, so Megatron's just kind of getting into character, I guess. Articulation from the torso up, pretty good. I like it. Solid star. Articulation from the torso down, not so much. Half a star, I would say. You can finagle some poses out of these legs, you can, but it's extremely limited. You could do something like this, or even something like this, but unfortunately, these poses kind of only look good from one specific angle. Looks like his knee is totally sideways, like, you know, bendy-wise. I mean, it is, but, you know, in a painful way. Limited, but I guess it's something. Now, let's move on over into the transformation. It's time to raise the cum shield. Open these flaps up, bring the arms up, click them into place, close. Lift that up, spin the legs. Make sure this locks into this. Oh yeah. Bring legs up, both sides. Make sure that little tab goes into that little tab hole. Like so. Set the figure down. Oh yeah, you're gonna wanna flip these little thingamajubes up. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm pretty sure it's one of the first things you're supposed to do. Now he'll sit nice and flush. And here we have Megatron's completed vehicle mode. A tank of sorts. I don't know what kind of tank. I imagine it was modeled after some specific kind of tank. But enough of me tripping over myself. Let's take a closer look at what this tank has to offer. Now I'm sure you're wondering, can Megatron roll? The answer is yes, he can. Rather smoothly, despite the sound the wheels are making. I'm pretty sure that was intentional, just to recreate the loudness of a tank as it exists. We'll be able to move this back and forth with not David K saying Decepticons attack. You will be able to lift the gun all the way up and most of the way down. Flaccidatron. And that's pretty much it in terms of articulation. And since it's a tank and it's built like a tank, that's all I was really expecting, so solid star. One of the first gimmicks mentioned in the instructions, yes, that's what I'm going off of, is that you can flip this little bippy out. You can get little vehicle leader 1 over here. God damn it, get on the peg. There we go. And you can move him back and forth. It kind of looks like a launch pad or something for a flying mini-con, but I guess in Megatron's case, it's just a place to store more firepower, as if he didn't have enough. And yes, this back and forth motion can be done when the arms don't fuck me over, can be done while this is down, like so. So yeah. Another little gimmick on this side of the tank is this little pad over here that comes down, and with the help of a claw, releases probably a mini-con, I imagine. There was actually another part of the ramp that was supposed to unfold, but I got so fed up with this thing popping out while it was in robot mode that I tore it off. So yeah, I haven't been able to get a mini-con to fit in there though. Like, yeah, you could just like do it like that, but I'm sure that's its actual intent with these fucking arms. Get in there. There you go. Yeah, these, okay, yeah, it's a thing that exists. Slide that little bippy back in, close it up, we're done. Now for the other side, another gimmick that we have is this little switch right here. Kablooey! It launches missiles. Pretend missiles, not real missiles. And we get some cool detail reveals over here as well. Very, very nice. And closing this thing up is an experience in and of itself, something that I always got wrong as a kid because I was an idiot, but it goes 1, 2, 3. Simple, isn't it? Moving on to the final gimmick of the legs slash body over here. This little portion of Megatron's leg can pop out like so, and then it can open up just like that. What is it used for? I don't fucking know. Get a little mini-con in there and just, he's getting eaten by a phi thingy. It's a thing. I will say though, with all of the bonus gimmicks kind of out and about like so, it really does make the tank look super souped up and just ready to rip somebody apart. And as for, I think, the final gimmick we could really show off here, we just get little leader 1 over here, bring him back, blam, 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 blam. Hey Megatron, how you doing today? Fine. Bring leader 1 all the way back, and then move him to the right, and then that little gun over there will stay in place. Now let's see if I can get these little bippies to fire. Yeah! Other one. Bam! Ooh, good stuff. Now, I always remember having a hard time getting this thing to friggin' launch! I feel like it always just gets like a little jammed or something. Just not bad. Pretty cool. Let's give him a good old Fireoso. Nice. Given everything that the vehicle mode can do, and honestly, just how fun it looks, whether it's all decked out like this or not, I have to give vehicle mode a solid star. It rolls, it moves, it's got a lot to do with it. I give Hasbro a lot of credit. They managed to make some of the vehicle modes in this line just really fun. So yeah, a solid star for vehicle mode. Now let's take a look at those size comparisons. Size comparison wise, Giga-Cons Megatron is rather big when compared to that of Optimus and Hotshot, and I believe the Giga-Cons line was mostly just bigger size Transformers with electronic gimmicks integrated into them. So I guess that has to account for why he's a little bit bigger, a lot bit bigger than Optimus. Either way, it's going to be nice to get that Legacy Megatron in and have him actually be somewhat in scale with Prime. That line does that, right? Or does it not? I don't know. But yeah, size comparisons. Big Megs Magoo. Yeah, he might be limited in articulation, especially compared to what's released, I guess in this size and style today, but for everything that he offers, I quite like this figure still. And I'm very excited to get the new version of this figure whenever Amazon decides to ship it out. I'm told early August. And if this video doesn't flop, I will cover it on the channel, and I will talk about more retro, or I guess vintage now, they're called, Transformers Armada figures. I have a box full of them, Decepticons and Autobots. Even some Beast Wars too. But anyway, I do so hope you all enjoyed the first Transformers review in a year. Sorry it took so long. Anyway, have yourselves a lovely, fantastic day, afternoon, night, whatever day of the week this officially comes out on. Let's hope this does well, because I would love to line the channel up with some more Transformers content, as I already said. But yeah, peace!
You know what? That was a good review. Maybe now I'll be a patron again. You did a good job.
Oh, shit. Really, man? That'd be great. I mean...
No.
Ah. Well, there goes my smile for the day.